Well, if you follow my channel for a while, you have known that I have partaken in the gold dot experience before. This one's got quite the interesting name, Staggers and Jags. What does that mean? I have no idea, but gold dot does have a good track record with me, so I tap that. And you know what? It's a gift from the man, the myth, the legend, my main man Todd at the Upstate Beer Geek on Instagram and Facebook. So I'm going to tap this, and we'll see if gold dot can continue its good streak with me right after the theme song. Welcome back to the Upstate Studio with yours truly, Nutmeg 2 Palmetto. And it just dawned on me in my infinite amount of ignorance. I didn't tell you what style beer this was. It is a cold IPA. If you will notice, if you'll remember my fun conversation with a brewer friend of mine, we had I'll throw the card up there as well. We had an interesting exchange about a cold IPA versus an IPL versus a West Coast Pilsner. And Kyle's opinion on the matter was that they're all the same thing. So I couldn't necessarily disagree with him, I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, speaking of close friends, I got this from a close friend. That is the Upstate Beer Geek, my main man Todd on Instagram and Facebook. So go give him a follow if those are your platforms of choosing. And let's get the business out of the way first, of course. I am rocking Inspired Alike. I tap that. If it's a cold IPA, I would definitely tap that. So we're going to get right to that. If you would like this from the beer collection at Inspired Alike or anything else from that collection, work your way on down to the description. Click the link and use the code NUTMEG10. That is NUTMEG10, NUTMEG10 for a discount at checkout. So, Staggers and Jags, whatever on God's green earth that means. It is a cold IPA, as I stated. Not a lot of check-ins, 200 total, 195 unique, 177 ranked. But, small-ish sample size. People like it. 4.05. It is a kind of more of a popular style of late in the craft beer nerd type of community. A double dry hopped variant of our instant classic. You deserve a completely dry, bitter, and intensely hoppy IPA with a super clean finish. Yes, we do. And that actually makes me curious what the base beer is, because that, to me, that implies that they have a staple beer that this is a variant off of. I mean, it says it's a variant right there. I guess I don't need to say that. I'm just being redundant. So, you deserve a gold dot. Their logo on the front, the big gold dot, and pretty simple other than that. Name of the beer, style of the beer, etc., 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 etc. Double dry hopped. Gold dot. The industry standard. India Pale Ale beer. What's this extra logo? It's like the gold dot with a red star in the middle. It's the ingredients. Water, malt, hops, yeast, thyme, and lager. Well, I guess after time it would be a lager, huh? Brewed and canned by Heater Allen in McMinnville, Oregon. Brewer owned and operated. So that's, I think I remember that before. So I don't necessarily know if the Gold Dot's the brewery or Heater Allen. I know their Instagram account is Gold Dot Beer or something like that. So that's interesting for me to know. So there's nothing much else there. I'm kind of curious what Staggers and Jags mean, but that's okay. And I can't remember if I've ever had a double dry hop cold IPA. I'm sure I have, but there's such a rare beer style as it is. How am I going to remember it's double dry hopped? All right, as always, the ode to One Flight Down with a shaklook. That was pretty good shaklook, I'd say. Foaming out the top, so we'll get it right in the glass with a hard pour because it's me. Look at that. Look at that! Oh, it's super clear. I like clear. Clear. Beer was made to be clear. I don't remember who told me that. Whether it was my guy Mike Venditti out here in the distro game in South Carolina, or if it was Cousin of Magnetic South. Somebody told me that. I don't remember who told me that, though. So we'll set that down as this settles out. That is a big frothy white head. And I can see everything. I can see everything through that beer. You may even be able to see me. It's possible. I will wave. And as you can tell, I'm using my Golden Road glass because West Coast. So, yeah, that is beautiful. I love a clear beer. Now, there's a slight cloudiness to it, but it's still pretty transparent as far as I can tell. As far as I'm concerned, rather. There is it's a nicely balanced grainy and pineapple aroma. There's a slight sweetness from the pineapple, but it's mostly a grainy, grassy type of that half of it as well. So nicely balanced. You get a little bit of both, and I'm not disappointed by that. It's not super subtle, but it's not super strong either. Cheers, let's get into it. All right. It's one of those beers that I can't particularly say there's anything amazing about it, but there's nothing about it that I hate either. It's got a grassy, hoppy palate. But there's no bitter aftertaste. It's got all those notes, but they don't hang around anywhere longer than they should. It tells you exactly. It lets you know exactly what they're selling, picking up what they're putting down, and then it kind of goes away, and you're ready for the next sip. So very, very good. I'd say grassy and floral as the primary flavor notes. And normally that does leave the funky aftertaste, but the palate of this is so clean. It is very, very clean. It's like drinking hoppy water, except with that kind of grassy backbone, so you know it's not just hoppy water. Because apparently that is a thing now in the last couple of years. But very, very good, and it's one of those beer that tastes like beer, but with flavor. So if this would be a good gateway beer towards beer drinkers that will just go in the bar and order Ultra, order Bud Light, order High Life, like this would be the perfect gateway beer to that type of beer drinker. Absolutely, 100% crushed it. Keep crushing it with me. Visit the link in the description below to visit the Inspire to Like beer collection and use the code NUTMEG10 one more time, NUTMEG10, NUTMEG10. I guess that was 2 more times. And get a discount at checkout. Cheers, friends. See you next time.